So is it a ridiculous idea that relationships in general would be a lot better off if they had a different approach to them? So with me teaching people how to do sales and educating people on how to do sales, I realize this is something that needs to be learned in all aspects of life. Now, the idea of what a salesman is that slick, fast talking person that wants to get over on you. And, when I taught people sales, anytime I teach people how to actually get a sale, it has nothing to do with being a fast talker or getting over someone or twisting the other person's arm. If you're lucky to get a sale that way, that sale usually doesn't stick. No, that's not the way to do it. The best way to do it is just to be the best part of everyone's day. Look to see how you can help that individual. So I said, why aren't we applying these things in our relationships with our wives, with our husbands, with our boyfriends, with our girlfriends, If we take this approach, this slightly different approach to how we are handling our relationships, is it a ridiculous idea to believe that our relationships will be better? I mean, imagine, if you will, each person, the husband and the wife, together, but their whole focus is making the other person's life better. Their whole focus is to serve the other person, to see what they can do to make their situation better. Not from a selfish standpoint, not from the standpoint of even taking numbers as to who does what, because I feel like taking numbers can really be harmful to people. What I mean by taking numbers, I'm talking about like, oh, well, I did this for her this many times and she has done this for me one time. Like, no. Get into the habit of just doing things for her, making sure that everything is right for her. And ladies, get into the habit of doing things for him, making sure everything is right for him, making sure that, you're allowing him to be manly, just like, he's allowing you to be feminine. So there's certain ways that a man should treat a woman. I'm sure a lot of women will agree about this, but it's a lot of things women don't comprehend, that is certain things that a woman is supposed to treat a man. Meaning, as a man, you're supposed to respect women. You're not supposed to beat on women. You're supposed to be confident in yourself and be able to move for yourself to say, hey, you know what? I don't have to be insecure about where she is and what she's doing and constantly on her. At the same time, as a woman, a lot of women don't know this, and here's a key, and I'll even put it out there for you to know this. You need to allow the man to be a man. What I mean by that is, if a man is trying to hold the door for you, let him. If a man is trying to do things in a manly fashion for you, let him. Like, why would you take his masculinity away from him? Or why would you attempt to take his masculinity away from him by trying to do everything yourself? Like, you have a man, allow him to do man stuff. How can you serve the other person? This should be at the forefront of your mind. How do I be the best part of everyone's day is how I teach sales. And just like I teach sales, I'll tell you, as far as relationships go, how can I be the best part of her day? How is it that I know that when she gets off of work, when she comes home and she sees me, she knows that she's going to have a sigh of relief? Like, how many ladies, how many times is your man leaving work to rush home to get to you? And then at the same time, he's like, well, I'm not in a hurry to get home. I'm going to stop off at the bar first. So I'm going to stop off here first. And then he got to mentally prepare just to interact with you. He should look forward. He should be looking forward to see you. He should be excited about it. It should be something that he's anticipating. Because if he is, then that means you're not a nuisance to him. You're not annoying to him. Are you trying to be the best part of his day? I mean, after he had a long, hard day at work, are you trying to nag him about some BS? I understand. Like, it's a certain way that you need to talk to your man. For instance, there's no reason to, inside or outside the home, for you to be talking down to your man. As a woman, you shouldn't want a man that you can talk down to or even walk all over. And for men out there, you shouldn't be allowing your woman to talk to you all crazy. I seen a situation happen where, it was a man and his, I believe his girl and his child, and a situation happened to where a man made the decision, and then the woman came in and said, no, we're going to do this instead. But in hindsight, the situation was more beneficial with what the man's decision was. Ladies, sometimes you got to trust that your man is making the right decision. You got to allow him to lead. Like, you can't just sit up here and constantly try to step on his toes. Like, what are you doing? How is that being the best part of his day? Why are you making decisions for him? What are you showing your son as to how a man acts? Are you showing your son that, hey, if he makes a decision on something, he has to check with his girl to make sure that the decision is right? Why would you want your son to grow up like that? Why would you want your son to grow up thinking that he has to be ran down or ran over by a woman? You should be wanting your son to grow up and be strong and be a dominant figure inside the family. Men, you should want your daughter to be able to rely on a man. Yeah, we all heard the Biggie line from Sky's is the Limit. If you're not familiar with it, go check out the song. It's get his daughter his college plan so she don't need no man. I don't want my daughter to not need a man. I want my daughter to need a man. I want my daughter to have a man, a real man that's going to take care of her and her children. Because at the end of the day, if my daughter don't have a real man, then who's going to teach my grandson how to move and maneuver? Me? How? Why would I even put that burden on myself? I'm supposed to be an example as a man, so when my daughter goes out and looks for a man, she's looking for a good example. And then when she finds that example, because it'll all happen instinctively, like she'll just naturally be attracted to strong men and dominant men. When she sees that, what happens? Well, she'll find that person, and you have less worry about how your daughter is with her husband and their children. In fact, you could be at ease about it. Offer advice. Why people want families to be at war with each other? Why people want husband to be at war with the wife when they're supposed to be a single unit? That's the reasons why, like, you have so many divorces nowadays. Not for anything but everybody's trying to do their own thing. People are so selfish. Like, instead of being selfish, what can I do for this individual? It ain't about you. When you're in a relationship, it's about the next person. So if I'm in a relationship with you, if she's not doing for me anything, I got to start to look at it like, is this somebody I want to be in a relationship with? But that doesn't mean I just break up. That doesn't mean I cheat. I talked to her. I said, listen, and I explained the situation as to what it's supposed to be. But one thing I can't do is I can't cheat. And in addition to that, I can't allow it to go on. I can't be soft. Like, you men out here just can't be soft. You got to really run the show. You want to know how to run the show? Find you some old heads that's still married. Find you some people who are older, who are still married to their wife, and see how they treat each other. See how the man talks to his wife. See how the wife talks to the man. You'll find these relationships out here. They do exist. You got to really be able to provide for your own as a man. And providing for your own is providing for your wife and providing for your children. It just is. But society and social media will do everything they can to try to turn you off to the idea of being in a relationship with a woman. Like, you hear the statistics about how many men are happy alone. How could you be happy alone? I need a woman that I can build with. Like, you're limited to how far you can actually go without having a woman. Like, I don't care how much you believe it, but once you find a woman, a good woman that you could be with and build a relationship with, you'll go so much farther. Financially, mentally, spiritually, you got to find somebody that you can be with, but not be trying to mess with her friends. But she can't be in the streets neither. If you know that this girl is in the streets, like if you messing with a chick that's in the streets and she's doing street stuff, then you got to leave it for where it is. And I don't care what she's saying to you. If you're looking at her actions and she's always going out, always dressing skimpy, not respecting her own body, let alone respecting the body that's supposed to be yours, then that's not for you. She's not marriage material, and you got to move on. But it's really important that we focus on that and that we have that understanding. When I look at me, I'm quick to cut a woman off. Like if I see her movements is not up to par, oh no. I don't even in certain things like like I said, being as though I've been in sales and in doing sales and practicing sales, I read and I look at situations. There's no reason for her to give another man the attention that she's supposed to give to me. I was doing rideshare, and a woman came in, and two ladies came in the car, and a guy came in the car, and they were all drunk. And the woman is being disrespectful to him. Da 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 da. He's talking back to him. I said, listen, just in the same voice I'm telling you guys right now. I said, listen, what you're not going to do is you're not going to be raising your voice in my vehicle like this. Like the place that you're going is around the corner. You can go there, but what you're not going to do is you're not going to be talking back and disrespecting people in my car. This is not going to happen. Immediately, the women shut up. And then the guy said, see? He said, see? Y'all don't even know this man. Y'all listen and follow everything that he say, but y'all can't do that to me. As a woman, and that's what he said, but I'm telling you now, like as a woman, you need to know when to shut the F up. Like, you don't know what, like, I think one was his sister and the other one was his girl. And it's like, there's no reason why your girl and your sister should be teaming up against you. I don't care if they like each other or not. I don't care if they're cool with each other or not. They ain't got to be at war with each other, but they ain't got to be teaming up against you. Like, they both should have enough respect for you to shut up. And that's partly his fault. As a man, you really need to know when to man up. You don't got to raise your voice. You don't have to cuss. Like, I didn't cuss these women out. I just told them what they're not going to be doing and just said, listen, this is just what it is. And they calm right down. You just got to be stern. You got to be a man. But y'all get so emotional. I want to cry and complain. I watch these guys on social media always filming their girls. You filming your girls doing this, that, and the third. Oh, look at her. She's cheating. She's going out. She just had a baby. Da, 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 da. Like, find another chick, dog. It ain't that deep. Like, it's not hard to find a new woman. If your woman is not doing what you need her to do, find a new one. You're better off. Like, you got, like, and don't let social media lie to you and have you thinking that there's no good women out here. Like, there are plenty of women out here that are really good. Don't fall for the BS. Focus today. What's our focus got to be? Our focus has to be on, how do I make this other person's day better? Every single day that you're with that person. You living with your girl, even if y'all not living in together, y'all still need to put this as a focus, as a base for how y'all build on top of your relationship. But if you living with your girl, if you living with your baby moms, if you living with your wife, yeah, make her day better. If you living with your wife, here's another thing, fellas. You living with your wife, but you have a baby moms, and the baby stay with the baby moms, is especially around that child. You need to show that woman some respect. I don't care what she did. I don't care how many men she slept with. It's none of your business. You don't have to like it. It is what it is. At the end of the day, like, you got to respect her, and she got to respect herself, and she got to respect you as well. This is not about selfishness. This is about, how can I provide for this individual? Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, even financially. And women think, well, why would I provide for him financially? It's true that a man should provide for his woman and his family. But if in any event that man is on stuck for whatever reason, you should be able to look out for him. It shouldn't be all about being selfish. Like, I seen this thing on social media where and I don't know how accurate it is because you can't trust the stories, but this is whether it's a made up story or a true story, this is something that's really deep. How a woman was with a man for so many years and she saved up all of this money and created a secret account just in case she had to leave. She prepared, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. She prepared to leave that relationship. She wasn't preparing to have a lifelong relationship with that individual. Now, should people have secret accounts? No. Should people have separate accounts? Maybe. Because why not, right? Why not have him have his account, her have her account? Y'all can know the balances in it, but it shouldn't be a pissing contest. It shouldn't be, oh, well, she has more than me or I have more than her. So, we got to have beef with each other. We need to even it out. It doesn't have to be even. It could be whatever it is. She could be using her personal account for whatever she chooses to use it for. As a man, you use your personal account for whatever you choose to use it for, whatever you want to buy, but then have a joint account. Learn how to manage the finances together, but be the best part of everyone's day. That's the key. It's not about nagging him. It's not about asking him who some chick is just because you see him talking to another woman. You don't know what he's talking to her about. Man, you got to reassure your woman. Make her know that she's the one for you. Like, first of all, I will say this too, man, you got to stop being overly emotional. Like, the person that you're choosing to be with is also the reasons why you're going through a lot of the BS that you go through. So in sales, it will happen all the time. You talk to the person about your product, and you really want to sign the person up, but the person really doesn't want to sign up. Wait, I'm saving you $120 a month on your current bill. Why would you not want to change companies? And then you get frustrated, and then you're so focused on getting this person or convincing this person that you don't realize that $120 means nothing. What am I saying? What I'm saying is, it's not about you. You just changed it from it being about them to it being about you. It's about what they want. And if they just don't want it, then they just don't want it. Same with the relationship. Men, like, treat your woman. That is yours. But neither of you should be preparing to split up your relationship. You should be preparing to live a lifelong relationship. Like, let's just look at things practical. That lady, she prepared to end the relationship. She was preparing for a relationship to break up. If she had prepared for her relationship to be together through thick and thin, then what's the problem? If everybody can agree on stuff, and even if you don't agree, sometimes do something for that person, because it's about, how can I serve this woman? That's where your main focus should be. How can I serve my wife? How can I serve my children? Well, you serve your children by educating them so that they can be able to, manage themselves, at least to some degree, by the time they're teenagers. You serve your wife by making her life easy. But as a woman, you got to serve your man by making his life easy. Stop making his life difficult. That's what it's all about. I got to make sure that when everything is said and done, the number one question I got to ask myself, if I have to have a serious conversation with my wife, or if she has to have a serious conversation with me, the whole focus should be, am I being the best part of their day at the end of the day when I have this discussion? And if there is a problem, does this person want to fix it? Because sometimes women just want to vent about their problems. They don't want a solution. And I know it's stupid. It is. But sometimes you just got to sit there and listen and be like, okay. And that's all she needs. She doesn't need to sign up for the services. She just needs to vent. And once she's got it out, women get very emotional. And sometimes all they need to do is just cry for a little bit or just let it out. And then they're just back to normal, like instant. And so once she lets it out, once she's cool, is that not being the best part of her day? Men, should you vent? It was this thing on the internet, like whether you should vent or, do that with your woman. I kind of agree. And Shaq was talking about it. I kind of agree with what Shaq was saying. It makes sense to me. And so, like, should you vent to your woman? Probably not. Maybe you should. I'll leave that up to you guys. I don't know. I'm not a relationship expert, but I do know how to build relationships with people because my focus when doing sales is building relationships with the individual, finding out about them, finding out what they like, and finding out what they want to do. Because it's not about me. And that's how I got to approach my relationships. It shouldn't be about you. But let me know, or yeah, it should always be about them. I'm sorry. But let me know what you think. If you have any other questions, concerns, funny stories, anything like that, feel free to put it in the comments. If you like this, hit the thumbs up button. If you dislike, make sure you write dislike in the comments and make sure you subscribe. And may everyone have a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good evening.